I have 7 questions. Feel free to be as concise as you like. The first one is just quite, a bit more general. What tell me about yourself.
So when I look back at my childhood, it was a series of events that helped me to realize that I have a story and I can help others. And when I started my business, it was because my ex, the father of my child, he passed away and didn't leave a legacy. So I was like,
Oh,
okay, I need to leave a
I'm
legacy.
sorry.
But he was also the same person that was my abuser and my rapist. So
Mm,
it just became to where I realized, what am I setting for my daughter and how can I leave this legacy? And I want her to see like you can get through anything. So when I started the business, I had no idea what I was doing. And I kept getting told, you need to hear the stories. You not hear the stories, but get the testimonials when you work with someone. And it was placed on my heart, hear their journey. So I was like, okay, well, how do you get a studio? You need my misconception. I need to have the perfect equipment, the
mhm.
perfect setting. Then comes COVID, and now it's all about visibility. How do I get visibility in a social media environment? How do I, in the digital space, how do I put myself out there? And that's when I saw people going live, and I was like, okay, I can do that. When I saw my friend going live on Instagram, I knew I could do it because I knew her, and I was like, okay. So 9 people later, I got my first guest and I started going live on Instagram, interviewing entrepreneurs from all over the world. And that is when I began to get people were asking me questions and understanding, what are you doing?
Mm.
Why are you here? I was still just trying to figure it out, but I knew I was creating something that was bigger than me.
No, I mean, and I actually can relate so much about that. Thinking back 6 months or so, it's like, shoot, I think I need to start actively posting for the business. And I'm like, I hate, at that moment in time, I could honestly, hands down, like, say that I hate posting on social media. I was barely using it. And yeah, so that was hard to kind of go from zero anything to so yeah, and I can see the equipment in the background, so I'm yet to work myself up to it, so well done.
That one died. So although it died,
Yeah,
the ring light has been with me since the first of my journey. It was the first ring light that was gifted to me.
yeah,
And when like I can see the tape, but there's tape, it's falling over. Like I did my best, but it did its job.
yeah,
And you realize like you outgrow things. I was Before I was not comfortable sharing that. Like,
yeah,
oh, I have a ring light that's not the greatest. It's breaking on me. And instead now I'm just like, hey, this has been with part of my journey and now we're leveling up. We're
yeah,
getting something new and we're moving on to forward. I mean, I usually have a setup when I go live and I use boxes. I know that the boxes aren't going to be there in a cart, but
yeah,
that's what I have.
yeah,
And people get caught up in like, oh my God, I have to have the perfect setup. I'm just like, well, do you have a phone that works and a laptop that can stream with a decent camera? You can go live. You
yeah.
can share your story. If I could make a green wall, this is my daughter's room. If I could make a green wall work, you can make anything work.
Yeah, I mean, you should see my equipment. So, but there we are. Fast forward 6 months, I'm hopefully better equipped. But I'm conscious of time, so I'm gonna give you like the top questions, and let's see how we go. To get as much out of you as I can. But the first one is, what does confidence mean to you?
Confidence means to me being able to walk in the room and not compare yourself to anybody. And this room could be networking room, this could be online. We will always be bombarded by people who are just a little bit better than us, but they are not you. They don't have your story. And being able to say, okay, I can take away some things from their story and how can I make it help me, especially when I haven't faced some of the things that they have, but if I do, I know how. Or if they're doing something in their business, what did they do? What mind shift did they have to get there?
Yeah.
Not comparing like, oh, they're much better.
Hmm.
Okay. They are, but they're not me. So
Yeah.
that's what confidence means to me.
And you mentioned 2 years ago you didn't you couldn't imagine being where you are now. And was there a particular sort of like, what were the sort of the series, or at least the one light bulb moment that you had that you were like, you know what, you learned something about yourself that set you free, or you had like, what were sort of the things that really got you to that, what the very just the definition of you that you've just shared?
When I started posting on LinkedIn and then I started to go live, I had a mentor it was another guy, awesome person, and he kept pushing me. And I was like, I'm going to lose it all if I go live. He said, well, then that means it's meant for you. And that place that you're at is not for you. And that's what ended up happening. I lost the job, I lost everything, but I still had the community and I had the business and I was able to go from there. So that was that aha moment. Like I was so scared. So I would say something is so scary, that means that it's for you. And it's weird because there's the scare that's like, okay, hey, this is not the right place to be. But then there's that it felt good. It was the right place. And yet I was just scared of the bigger plan that's out there. That's what I mean by scary.
What would you say is like the key difference confidence makes to your life compared to periods of time in your life before when you just didn't have it?
When I look at the confidence I have now, it's facing those fears and constantly facing the fears. So 3 months ago, it was scary for me to show how I look. Like I always show the top part. I never show a full body picture.
Mm-hmm.
So to get past that, I started shooting videos where I show myself working out, and I'm showing, and I had a video that went viral on LinkedIn, and it was me cooking, and nobody said anything. All they were asking was, can I have some food? And that whole time, because it got me to realize we get caught up in what we think people look at, but they're not looking at that. They're looking at the value you're sharing, the content, like what are you doing? And they just want to see, what is it like? Okay, I'm getting ideas. I can take this and let me see how I can do this video for myself.
Absolutely. And with the business, we are focused particularly on young adults. So what would be your recommendation to, say, a young person or someone who's really not feeling it at the moment for whatever reason? What would be your recommendation to them to get started in building their confidence?
Some of the things that have helped me is, and I help my clients with this, record yourself saying things that you love about yourself, especially like on a really good day. It's so awesome. Like when you're in a high moment, it's real easy to record that video and you're like, oh my God, I'm the best. I was able to do this. I did this and I fought this and this dragon and that demon. And next thing I know, I have a castle and I'm the owner of the, like it's it's being funny, but those days you're such a high in recording. So watching that video and replay helps you remember that high. The other thing is recording yourself, especially, and I've done this a lot, where I just tell myself, I am amazing. I am phenomenal. I can do what I set my heart out to. And I can make things happen even when the storm is there. I love a storm. Why do I love the storm? The storm helps me grow. I love failure. Why do I love failure? Failure helps me learn faster. So I want to fail more times now than I do. And when you're in your low moments, you're like, what am I saying? But when you play it back to yourself, you see, oh my gosh, this is so true.
I love this. Really, really cool. Awesome.